What's cracking, everybody? XehrFelrose here, bringing you some Pokemon Go Battle League content. In today's video, we're going to take a look at a shoutcast sent in to the channel by LevAsh10. If you'd like to send in battles to the channel for shoutcasting, there's a Google document in the description and the pinned comment you can check out, fill out, and send in battles. I appreciate all of you who have sent in shoutcasts so far this season. I'm not going to be able to get to all of them, but I'm going to get to as many as I can, so thank you guys for sending those in. Also, you might notice something a little bit weird about the footage here. This is actually footage from an iPad, hence the strange aspect ratio. And Trainer had to switch to an iPad because the frame drops were too horrible on the phone. So, just going to throw out there, I am trying to collect some footage to make a video regarding the frame drop issue, so please utilize that form in the pinned comment description for shoutcasting. If you'd like to submit just some footage of frame drops and other issues that the game is having so that we can try and raise awareness. But that being said, Galarian Moltres, Tentacruel, and Weezing is a solid Dark Double Poison team, and I think that it will probably do well, but I've also been told there are some juicy one-shots in this video. So, without further ado, let's get into the games here. We get into the first battle with... Oh, no! Why? No! You couldn't ask for a worse lead, but we get a Walrein here. This is very neutral. Opponent running Togekiss, Walrein. They didn't build up to the Earthquake here, so you can safely let one go. Now it's up to a point of, can we get shields or can we get switched? Okay, Brutal Swing is gonna get the first shield. Good bait here. I normally would just full send a Play Rough because the opponent should know that they can live one, but sometimes they just think that, well, that's exactly what they're going to do, so I'm going to shield this. Because the Play Roughs just made sense in this situation. So the opponent's shielding, they are gonna go for another move. It's gonna come down to Ash if they want to shield, and they do. So now, we're gonna see the Play Rough go through, but is this gonna be enough to get a knockout? That's gonna be the question. They don't have any more shields, there's not enough, but can we get to the Brutal Swing? And Weezing wins charge attack priority over the Walrein. Does this do enough? It does enough to flip switch. That's massive. Somehow Weezing pulling off a neutral matchup. And I'm sorry, is that a Salamence? Hello, Trainer. Respect for the spice. I know that these are like rank 17, 18 battles from a few days ago, so it's not like, you know, this is just the usual, like, you know, in the ranked battles, you know, you're either going to get somebody who's climbing and is playing meta teams, you're going to get, you know, trainers who are just playing and having fun with what they have. That's okay. Tell me, Blizzard, please. I need it. I need it. I need it. Okay, we're going to go full farm down here. Oh. Give me the Blizzard. Give it to me. Give it to me. Oh, we're going for the Blizzard. I'm going to hit the button anyway, dude.
Boom!
Ah! Beautiful. Good game. Mostly good because they were able to flip. No, wait, huh? Another one? Bro, Togekiss is like, no, use any other fairy. Oh, and they have Typhlosion in the back. So here's the thing, the buff, or I guess like the neutral-ish change to Brutal Swing is going to basically allow the Weezing to spam out Brutal Swings like nobody's business. Instead of getting it to 5-4, now it's 4 straight, which means that the spam is ridiculous and never ending. So it's gonna come, we're gonna see if the Weezing can actually flip this with just going straight Brutal Swing. It can get basically 2 Brutal Swings in per Thunder Punch from this Typhlosion. And I think that if they decide to shield, I think they might be able to get 2 of them off. They're gonna let it go. Blast Burn's gonna nuke the Weezing, and now it's all gonna come down to Tentacruel. Is Tentacruel gonna be able to get? Nope, not the farm down. Not so lucky, but Thunder Punch gonna do some chip damage here before going down. The opponent has a Feraligatr, meaning that this is playable, but not having switch against that Togekiss is really not great. However, having Ancient Power to hit the flying type Togekiss might not be such a bad thing. Shielding up this Hydro Cannon as it's probably the hardest hitting move left in the game, even though it's resisted. Tentacruel really wants to get this Scald off to try and neutralize this Feraligatr, and we do, and catching the Hydro Cannon on the Moltres. Moltres, again, doesn't really care so much to deal with this Togekiss, but we are able to get to Ancient Power here before going down, which is going to allow the Moltres to do a super effective shot, and the opponent decides to no shield. That's probably going to be their loss condition here. Does this move knock out? What is this move going to be? It's an Ancient Power. Trainer is not able to get close, but the farm down. That's a good game. Also, these were not edited by me, so I'm gonna be a little bit nasty with the transitions when I'm trying to get them on time. Not nasty, but a little bit, if you nasty. No, I'm gonna be a little bit late with them probably. So, opponent has a Pangoro here. I think that it would have been better to just instant switch because we have 2 better responses in the back, right? So, I get wanting to not, you know, take, you know, Man, I don't know. The opponent's just apparently really ready for Galarian Moltres because they have an Aurorus in the back. Being ABA weak to fighting, very interesting team composition. I like Aurorus though. I think that there's a lot less like dedicated fighters outside of like Virizion, Cobalion right now. You'll see the odd Poliwrath, but most of it is really other stuff now. So fighting is a little bit more of an afterthought, but Moltres is going to come in right now, get this move off immediately. Ancient Power is going to be able to take out the Aurorus, and in comes the Pangoro. Still, this is where I think if it were me personally, I think I'd prefer to just put Brave Bird on the Moltres, just for the fact that we already have Sucker Punch to do plenty of Dark type damage. So whether or not that actually is the play, I don't know, but it seems like it would make sense. Now we're getting into the Tentacruel, and the opponent's just sending off a flurry of Night Slashes here as they look to try and do as much damage to this as they can before possibly not having an answer in the back. Hey, wait, huh? What happened? Okay then, I guess we'll never know how that game went. Really nice lead in this next game here, and the opponent has a Pangoro. We immediately want to come in with the Weezing here and not, because you're walling this thing. You're not, there's absolutely no reason for us to not swap, but getting the close combat off here, it's a little bit detrimental to dealing with the Drifblim later. But Moltres has enough energy to probably make a difference here. Plus, the farm from the Weezing here just allows the Weezing just go for brutal swings into the Drifblim if it comes back in. So opponent does come in with their Drifblim, and they're gonna have to eat 3 brutal swings here before even getting off a farm down, a move, nothing, man. That's gonna be a lot of damage that they just have to take now, which is also why I really do want to say, don't safe swap things that have double weaknesses like that, especially because Weezing is very common. Fairies in general right now are very common in the Ultra League, and this is the situation that unfortunately you get put in by safe swapping something with a double weakness. Is instead of it being a safe swap, rather, it just gets farmed down, and now you have to deal with all that energy. The opponent would have been in a much better position here had they maybe safe swapped this Dragalge instead. But Dragalge isn't going to come in on Weezing at any point in time. So, I mean, that's entirely fair, but like, it's still just, Dragalge would have done a lot better here, I think. But that's okay. Right, because they didn't know there were poisons in the back, right? Like, you're still probably going to put the Weezing on this. Oh no. Oh no. We don't need Scalds here, 2 Shield Flexes and a Blizzard, are you kidding me? Oh goodness. Anyway, good game. Alright, getting into the next game here. We're gonna have Moltres against the Ceruledge. Hello, I haven't seen one of these in Go Battle League yet, but it looks cool as hell, and I wish I had one. Wow, I just cussed on a live video. That's alright, we'll take it. That opponent was apparently triple weak to Moltres. Good game, I guess. I don't know, I think Ceruledge looks really cool. I love it. I just don't have one, and I wish I did. And we're gonna catch a Wobbuffet before we move into the next set, climbing towards rank 18. Early season games. Skeleturge, great lead here for the Moltres. Always, always wasted damage. This Sucker Punch just does so much damage. And we're getting to Ancient Power here before the opponent can get to a Disarming Voice. Now, do we safe swap something here? No, we're gonna have to shield up this Disarming Voice. The opponent's definitely not gonna throw a Shadow Ball. And then I think maybe you try to catch a move on something here. Nope, the opponent is gonna go for their move now, and Moltres is looking maybe for a farm down just to take the Disarming Voice. And then in comes Poliwrath, and Weezing is on that like ugly on a Poliwrath. Because I don't like seeing Poliwrath. I'm tired of seeing this thing in the Ultra League. Make it go away permanently, please. Just make all of Poliwrath's moves so bad that it never gets to see the light of day again. It would be too soon if I never saw another Poliwrath. And Playrough is going to do a lot of damage to the Poliwrath and get it out of here. Sayonara. Going to go for these brutal swings again. Weezing, when it counter swaps on something and gets some farm on, Weezing is just a destructive little thing. Oh my goodness. The opponent... No, don't bait here. Okay, no, we just go straight play rough every time here. We don't want to bait. The opponent not shielding is exactly why. There's no reason for us to go for all that for the bait. Like they're gonna try to save the shield for whatever's in the back here. And all we've shown so far is brutal swings. So also they don't know what's in right. They don't know what's in the back. We're just gonna take it out. They kind of know they lost anyway. So good game. I'm all over the place. I don't know what's happening, man. We have a Moltres into the Feraligatr in the next game here. This is pretty solid because we are resisting the Shadow Claws and the Sucker Punches are eating through it, and there's a very nice catch here into the Tentacruel, which also resists the energy. And I thought it was a Registeel for a minute. I was about to be very sad, but the opponent now brings in a Melmetal, and it depends on what the moveset on the Melmetal is. If they're running Rock Slide, Thunderbolt, Super Power, Double Iron Bash, we'll have to see what they throw here, and they are running the Rock Slide. So Thunderbolt or Thundershock Rock Slide would be kind of solid here into this Tentacruel, as having the super effective fast move pressure and the neutral Rock Slides, even though the Rock Slides have been nerfed this season in the new move update. Melmetal is a very good like budget Pokemon to be running in the Ultra League. It's not quite like Registeel, but it has, especially with this shorter switch timer, just Steel in general is just such a good defensive typing, and Melmetal has a lot of like reasonably good coverage moves into some of this meta. Though it's not very bulky in my experience. It's definitely like no Registeel or anything. But it can do well as like a budget steel type if you don't necessarily have... Oh, and there's a boost! Oh, Moltres, you monster! Going for a potential farm down, but the opponent's forced to throw. In comes the Weezing to get ahead on energy. What's the opponent got in the back? They have that Melmetal, which is very low here. They have a Sylveon. This is over, dude. This is definitely over. Sylveon, get your Charmers out of here, trainers. Don't be playing Charm in this meta. There's too many poison types to even consider playing Charm. Going into the Tentacruel just because the opponent tries to maybe catch a move on their Melmetal, but they unfortunately catch these hands as the poison damage from the poison jabs are going to be enough. Now we're baiting again. We have 2 shields and we have a lot of health. I would never expect to bait here, even though the opponent maybe shields. It's just, in general, if you don't have to bait, don't, because that's going to lose more games than it will win in the overall scheme of things. Into the next game, great lead, and I'm still gonna point things out, right? Like that's kind of what I do with these shoutcasts. Like, yes, I want to be able to see other people play and have some fun, but if there's anything that we can take away from it as like, you know, something that we can, you know, take away as like a, you know, how do we improve the gameplay sort of thing, I'm always gonna do that, and that's just something that is gonna come with the, you know, unless you directly tell me not to, I won't. But Ancient Power, gonna be doing super effective damage to the Moltres, but can we get a full farm down? I think there might have been a farm down opportunity there if the opponent had thrown right away. But going for the Ancient Power, getting a shield off of the Moltres, catching the Ancient Power on the Weezing, or maybe even a Dragon Claw here. Oh, double resisted Dragon Claw. And in comes Cresselia. The opponent's best response to the Weezing is Cresselia. And if that's not a feature site, that wasn't enough for... It's a Grass Knot! No! Trainer is in shambles against this Weezing. Weezing is just gonna send out so many brutal swings. This is a massacre. What do they have in the back that is this weak to Weezing that they couldn't bring it in? Like, I don't know, man, but also, Future Sight is not usually the move you want to run on Cress anymore anyway. I mean, it's still good with all the poisons running around, but a lot of the times now you're gonna end up finding that, you know, the Moonblast coverage is gonna be more effective. Grass Knot, honestly, maybe is the way to get rid of it. Maybe just go double nuke on Cress. I still think that Future Sight's fine, even though it got nerfed this season. And what's the opponent? They have a Poliwrath. Oh, please, yes, get rid of it. You just win this. Yes, every time. Poliwrath for me is like Bastiodon and Lantern in the Great League. Like, I just never want to see them again. And if we could just completely dunk on them every time we see them, I'd be too happy. Good game. Get out of here, Poliwrath. Get out of here. A Jirachi, some spice in this next game. Opponent brings in a Greedent here, and it is on Bullet Seed. I think that might just be the way to go now, is Bullet Seed Greedent. They're going Trailblaze here. Okay, so they're going Trailblaze. What that tells me is maybe they have Trailblaze Crunch. I think you still want to go Body Slam, because even though it's been nerfed, in general, it's still just a better move here. So opponent is gonna go for another Trailblaze. I think Mudshot, even though it's not as good, I think Mudshot might still be the way to go, but it's more in line with Bullet Seed now, because you do get to Bullet Seed, I believe it's 3 Body Slam, or 3 Bullet Seeds to a Body Slam, so it's slightly better pacing now than Mudshot for it, but even still, the opponent comes in with their Jirachi against this Poison type, and then is gonna get locked in. Now, if this is a Doom Desire, this is gonna hurt. The opponent goes for the Doom Desire. That doesn't hurt that bad, actually. I overestimate the amount of damage it would have actually done to a Moltres. I forget how bulky Moltres can actually be in the Ultra League, honestly. And then comes Greninja, and Greninja into both the mixture of Tentacruel and Weezing is going to be very, very uncomfortable here. The opponent saving their shields for the Greninja, as you normally should if playing your Greninja. However, they're going to find out very quickly that Tentacruel is going to overcome the rest of this team, unfortunately. And they try to go for a catch, but it's not successful. And now we're going for a Brutal Swing in hopes to get a shield. The opponent does respect it, going for the next Brutal Swing. At this point, the opponent's so low that they basically have to shield this, regardless of whether it's a Brutal Swing or not. And the Fairy Winds and Brutal Swings will knock the Greninja low, and Tentacruel should be able to just farm down, even though the Greninja has so much energy that it really won't know what to do with it, except for just go one and then throw, one and then throw, one and then throw. Just Night Slashes all over the place. We love Greninja, though. This is a Greninja channel that we enjoy. Gonna be looking to go for a farm down of the Greedent, and I swear if we're throwing another Blizzard into this Greninja, it's coming. Throw it. There's the Blizzard. No, they get the cap tie win. Greninja's gonna go for the move. Gonna go for the shield. In shambles, dude. I'm in shambles right now. Blizzard's gonna knock out this Greninja. BM's all over the place today. Good game. Oh my goodness. All right, next game, we got another Giratina Altered on the lead. Team does very solid in the lead here against this, even though the opponent is on Dragon Breath, so the Shadow Claws would be resisted here, but Dragon Breath is going to be quite a bit better, and Ancient Power is going to be able to really do some damage into this Moltres, because Moltres has that flying typing, Rock will do super effective, but Ancient Power is going to get the shield off of this, my goodness, I can't, just the brain just went, poop, gone. Gonna be able to get a shield on Ancient Power, there it is. And there is a Greninja in the back. Greninja here is probably gonna go for a Hydro Cannon, and this is easily tanked by the Weezing here. I see Moltres, I wanna say Weezing, but then the word Moltres pops into my head, and my brain's like, a Galarian Moltres Weezing, I don't know, man, but, looking to just let the, we're looking to just let that go. Oh no, here comes the, worst nightmare here. We have Venusaur on the field now. Being able to resist the fast move pressure from the Venusaur here when you're the Weezing is nice, but able to come in with the Tentacruel and really just apply a lot of fast move pressure here and go for these Scalds, or, I mean, we're just gonna be another Blizzard. That's it, man. We're just going for another Blizzard. Please. Over farming here as well. Very nice over farm, being able to throw the Blizzard right before getting to the move. That's boom! Knocked out. The poor little Venusaur that got sent back to the Ice Age. We're no shielding again with this the Tentacruel, knowing how much this Night Slash can do, and that Scald's gonna get the knockout here, and that's gonna be a good game. My goodness, that was a roller coaster. All right, that's a straight 5-0 here. The team, while we're seeing some interesting stuff, though, the team itself looks like it's functioning very well. So, I mean, Dark Poison is really just a really strong core of typings. And speaking of things that aren't going to be that well, we're going to see Weezing swap in here on the Clefable. Now, if the Clefable has Meteor Mash, that's a much better option for it to be able to stay in and go for that mash. But the opponent coming in with Greninja here, maybe they don't have an answer. Now, the opponent is likely to shield this bait, but I still don't like this bait. I just don't like throwing this resisted damage into Pokemon that have like a full HP bar. It just feels real. Like in this case, yes, because the player up will threaten to one-shot. So I don't know, something about, like, if it were me, they would never shield it. That's just kind of where it comes from for me. Like every time, man, they would just never shield that. So the opponent now swaps in their Licky Licky. So they were running a team very similar to one that I ran here a few days ago last week, where it was the Clefable with the Greninja, and then they had Licky Licky instead of the Drapion, which is honestly also a really solid Pokemon to have on this team. Licky Licky is just an amazing save swap in the Ultra League if you don't have like Drapion or anything like that. But we still have the Tentacruel here for the Clefable and the rest of the Greninja, and at this point, this game does feel kind of over, at least from my perspective, but we'll see what happens here. If the opponent can make any good plays with this Clefable, but I don't think they're going to be able to just break through the Tentacruel just comes in and just makes very short work of this, even if the opponent has Swift, which, yep, they do. And this is another thing, too. I don't think you should be running Swift in the Ultra League. I think it's terrible, personally. Just run Meteor Mash. It just doesn't do enough damage. Even though it's a nice bait move and it gives you some abilities to get some wins, it just doesn't seem like something that would really it doesn't seem like something that would really benefit because Meteor Mash is just such good coverage into a meta that's dominant by fairy types right now. The opponent has a, oh, hello, Mud Slap, Shadow Excadrill, my Spice Lord in, oh my goodness, okay. So we're just going for as many brutal swings as we can get off here. Excadrill's also made of wet paper, so all it has to do is simply get poked and it falls over. So the opponent is going to be forced to shield these brutal swings in order to maintain any semblance of switch advantage, which now leaves us with a Moltres with 2 shields and a Tentacruel as well that is going to do looking to do just fine here. Now the opponent does come straight in with their Goodra after having their Excadrill throw this Rock Slide. Payback is going to be able to do a ton of damage here, but unfortunately, the Moltres is going to have to eat a charge move. Thankfully, it was not a Thunder Punch, but now they come in with a Primarina, and Primarina is getting walled here, and this is a perfect setup for the Tentacruel to just get the farm it needs, because if it saves the shield, it can simply just go for the Scald against the Excadrill, farm down the Primarina here. The opponent maybe not able to switch out yet. They are doomed, going for Blizzard. There it is. Man, this trainer just goes for the Blizzards whenever they can, man. Oh, beautiful.
Boom!
Oh, good game. Yeah, get your fast move pressure teams out of here, man. Come on. All right, Registeel in this next game. This is a little bit more of a tricky thing to get around. We're going to go straight in with the Weezing, maybe try to make the opponent think that we're running Overheat, but they are going to be able to get to a Zap Cannon here before we're able to throw this move. Now, Overheat is 7. You could throw the Brutal Swing on 7 in order to make them think you have Overheat before they get that move off. Now, going for the Play Rough and landing it on the Feraligatr here that is swapped in, this is going to allow us to now get shield advantage off of this thing, unless the opponent throws, which, I mean, they're still going to. It's shield advantage, but this also now sets up Moltres for a very nice farm down, and it will be able to fire off a payback into the Registeel, and maybe a little bit more, depending, but Tentacruel needs to stay away from the Registeel here, so that's definitely something that we have to look out for, but Tentacruel is in here, and we're just gonna have to see what's gonna happen here. So I was expecting them maybe to come in with a Moltres and try to farm down, but now Tentacruel is gonna try and do the job here. And I don't know, man. This is going to be a tough one, but we do have shield advantage. We'll see what the opponent decides to do here. It's simply just shield up the move on the Registeel here, and then maybe come into the Moltres and look to get some energy here. Now, it's going to come down to what's in the back. I think that we have a really strong pair of Pokemon here. The opponent staying in with the Registeel. They maybe know they do have an answer. It's a Tapu Fini! Tapu Fini, no! However, the opponent is going to have to throw a Nature's Madness, and I don't know that they're going to be able to be... I don't think they can safely bank a ton of energy here. So they may end up having to throw the Nature's Madness. If they do, then that's going to be good. Oh, this is perfect. They just give Tentacruel the opportunity to fully farm down here, potentially, and go for a Scald into the Registeel, as there's no energy. Ooh, this is actually really close. Double up on Scalds is the play here, I think, and you have to watch for the Registeel. You have to watch for the Registeel to come in, and it comes in! Oh, no! And the game's... Wait, what? The game's just over. All right, good game, I guess. All right, getting a really nice lead with the Moltres into a Golisopod here. We all know how the last game ended, but apparently it was edited a little bit quicker than I was expecting. So, opponent now comes in with a Cobalion. All the energy is resisted here, but the Weezing can come in quite easily and start getting to work on over-farming here. And this is actually quite nice. Cobalion is a really nice Pokemon in this meta right now. It hasn't been available since, I think, late last year. So hopefully they bring it back soon, but both Virizion and Cobalion, I feel like, are coming back in a really, really strong way. Now it's going to come down to, is this a Stone Edge or not? And I think that this is a Stone Edge. Oh, it's painful. No. Oh, okay. We go for the Play Rough. Now, is the opponent going to shield this and try to fight for switch advantage? I don't think that they're going to have a good opportunity here to do much with switch advantage. So it's going to come down to whatever's in the back. I think the opponent does decide to invest both shields, being very, very hesitant to even have a chance at that possibly being a move that wasn't Brutal Swing. Now, they would have lived the Brutal Swing, so if they knew that was a Brutal Swing, like, yeah, sure. But shielding up a potential Stone Edge here, and it is. Now, can Tentacruel get the double resisted Poison Sting or Poison Jab farm down? Doesn't look like they want to try and go for it, so they're going to go for the Scald instead to take this out. And now the Golisopod is going to come back in. In comes the Moltres, going for the Ancient Power and maybe fishing for the shield on the Golisopod. The opponent going to go ahead and bring in a Licky Licky. This is going to be really risky here. If the opponent has Earthquake, I think that this is pretty much going game over here. So it's going to come down to what happens to be on the moveset for this Licky Licky. Now, it is a Shiny. That is a flex. By default, Shinies do more damage if you didn't already know. It's just, I don't make the rules, okay? I don't make them. But Do we call the Earthquake? Is it Earthquake? It's a Shadow Ball. Okay, so that's okay though, because Golisopod really doesn't have any pressure into the Tentacruel here with any of its charge moves. So right, Aerial Ace is the hardest hitting move that Golisopod could possibly dish out here. And at this point, Tentacruel has so much energy and HP that it could simply just finish this game off as soon as the Golisopod gets back in. But it looks like the opponent has decided to close the app in frustration. Shame on you, trainer. Top left, like a good sport. Don't be doing that stuff. Good game. All right, getting into the next game, we got Feraligatr on the lead. This is a good lead here despite anything, because the Sucker Punch damage just does so much with these neutral moves. But just like the last time we saw this, we're going to see Feraligatr throw this move, and as soon as they get to the Hydro Cannon, the opponent, oh no, not the Giratina, dude! Okay, Tentacruel is going to be able to get to a Blizzard here for sure to get shield advantage, and that's going to be all she wrote. Now it's going to come down to if the opponent decides to respect damage or not. Opponent, please don't shield us, please. Oh, they don't shield it, beautiful, but it doesn't knock out even, man. Oh, that's such a shame. Can we get to the Scald? No. Oh, we go down with the Scald now. Oh, I'm in shambles watching this game right now, man. So coming in with the Weezing to try to absorb the energy, and now we're just catching moves all over the place here. Feraligatr comes in and tries to get a move off on this Weezing, but now we're gonna see the Moltres absorb it and then look to go for this Payback. Now, I think that we probably just come in with the Moltres anyway and farm down. Payback is gonna knock. Oh no, it lived with 1 HP, bro. Oh, what's in the back? This is all it comes down to, what's in the back. The Giratina is going to come in. I don't know if this is even worth a shield, man. I think you just have to finish it off with the Wii. No, we're going to go ahead and drop 2 shields down. Drapion comes in, and I don't think there's a win condition. This is an Aqua Tail from a Shadow Drapion. Is it going to be enough? Aqua Tail. The Moltres lives long enough to get the move off here, but is it even going to matter? The opponent could just not shield this, and they do. Now, I think this is all bait calls here at this point. The opponent does not have Sludge Bombs, so they're gonna need 3 Aqua Tails here to knock out. So if the Weezing gets 2 successful baits, we can win the game. 1 successful bait. Can we get to 2? Do they shield the next move? Do they shield? Dude, I need this. I'm on the edge of my seat right now. They need like 2 more Poison Stings. 1 Brutal Swing going through. Opponent shields it. Going for the Play Rough, and they get the Play Rough, bro. Let's go. Play Rough is going to knock out this Drapion, and when all things were lost, in comes the Tina to get farmed down by the Moltres. And that's a way to finish a video. That's a good game. Well played, Levash. Thank you for sharing this team and this nice 13-2 run with us here on the channel. It was a really fun game, really fun 3 sets here to watch this team just kind of go. But this is what we can expect in the Ultra League meta this season. Is Dark and Poison really seems to have come into the limelight again, where you could start running things like Pangoro, Nidoqueen, and Drapion, and Skuntank, and just like the Dark Poisons. Like, Dark in general is really good in the Ultra League because there's a lot more ghosts like Tina and psychics like Cresselia, but there's also just a really good offensive typing in the Ultra League. But Poison cores so well with Dark, so let me know what kind of teams you guys are using in the Ultra League in the comments here, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Thank you again. Bye-bye.